the Menachem that I know is a person who gives you tremendous chances. I had worked for the company casting, and I've had different jobs. And I walked into him and I said, look, I really want a challenge. Give me something interesting. He said, well, for about 3 years ago, I had this idea. I'd like to do some fairy tales, and I have the whole world, and we can do all kinds of things. Would you like to do that? I said, what? He said, would you like to go and produce these? And I said, well, sure. We went to Budapest, we went to Czechoslovakia, we went to Italy, we went to Portugal and Spain. And finally, Menachem called me up and he said, okay, we're doing it in Israel. I have sets here that I could have never got in Budapest. I have total control, and the people work harder, stronger, more vigorously. These are Israelis, and I've never seen any performances like this in my life.
Well, the main secret is that all the budget, or most of the budget, 99% of the budget of a picture is going to the screen. Not with all the limousine, schmilmousine, lunches, bunches, and all this nonsense that first of all is money, and secondly, we don't have time for this. On this time that Menachem is spending few lunches, he can do another picture.
אז על מה אתה מדבר?
אולי 4 מטר גובה מספיק?
לא.
לא.
לא. יש תוכניות טלוויזיה, אתה שם את זה על כרכרה, על הטרקטור, הוא מכניס, כולל פרופס שם בתוך סגור.
The communication center that we are building in Jerusalem is an example of some of Menachem's dreams to turn from dream to reality. We have to build in Jerusalem a communication center and on tremendous views of the mountains of Jerusalem, and to put a village and to create productions in this place, to make a little Hollywood in the mountains of Jerusalem.
مش انا هو شوف ايه اي شوفته تركه شوف عليه ايه هو التوالش نادر بيسلم على موتوسيكل تركه امشوا
While the hijacked TWA jet was still on the tarmac in Beirut, Cannon began production of The Delta Force, a film which would tell the story of what Menachem Golan thought should happen next. The hostages would be rescued by an elite American counter-terrorist force, led by Chuck Norris and Lee Marvin. Delta Force was shot entirely on location in Israel and was directed by Golan himself. Inside Cannon's aeroplane set, Hannah Shagula plays the German stewardess, forced to help identify the Jews among the hostages.
Listen, did they tell you why they want our passports? Do you know why? We get them back. We need those passports.
אתה שם אחורנית. אחרון. אתה אחורנית.
We're members of Delta Force and we're here to take you home.
2/3 of the way, or 3/4 of the film is very accurate, and then it's sort of a dream or wishful thinking. I think most Americans wish that this had happened and hope that it does, God forbid if there's a next time. So it does, you do feel it very strongly, because outside in the real world it's going on, what you're acting.
That was terrific.
Good for us. Terrific.
Visually, you have an area that's been at war for so many, centuries, I guess. So they're all, well, I mean, look at our backgrounds. I mean, this is just every day here. And the urgency of the people is an urgency in Israel that you don't see in other places. You know, they're very moving, very warm, and very open, all because they have to live so rapidly in the sense of that they're living under this terrorism that they have here, you know.
I think terrorism is going to get greater all over the world. And I think it's time that we started doing something about it right now, rather than waiting until it gets to such a problem that we can't deal with it.
American, I want to negotiate. Do you hear me, American?
Loud and clear.
But it's very rare to have in advance, long time in advance, such kind of material.
They really rushed.
Usually it's come afterwards.
They rushed
this.
Yeah.
It was
But
very
they did
special
well.
order.
It's really nice, I think.
Very nice.
To help the launching of the film, I think it's a very nice idea.
It's already in French on the side.
Yes, but they made some mistakes, by the way. In here.
Mistake.
Yeah. For example, they wrote, you see that, tout dernier modèle. It's tout dernier modèle. But you know, that's for the fun.
A real-life world crisis that ended without slaughter is given a very different ending in a new movie. It's called Delta Force, and our entertainment editor, David Sheehan, has, of course, seen it, and he's here to tell us about it.
Well, I want to tell you that this, I think, is an exploitation movie in the very worst sense of the term. Blatantly and brainlessly concocted to inspire vengeful hatred toward Arabs and Palestinians with a very manipulative restaging of the TWA hijacking of last June. Delta Force is such a flagrant attempt to celebrate irrational racial hostility. I think you're bound to be at least slightly sickened by it, no matter what your political or ethnic sympathies may be. In fact, the one encouraging thing, the paying audience I saw it with groaned and moaned a whole lot more than they cheer. I think that's because it's so crude and cartoony, maybe it won't have that much effect.
All right, good to know that. Thank you.
Thank you, David.
If one of our pictures is coming out and the critics love it, and everybody is saying that it's a great picture, I know that I'm in trouble. Because that means that the people are not going to queue near the box office. And contrary, when they are saying bad things, I'm happy, because that's I know that this is going to be a smash.
Delta Force took $6 million within 4 days of its release in the United States and Canada, and is doing good business in Europe and Asia. It opens at 100 British cinemas next Friday. To celebrate the move to their new headquarters and the opening of Delta Force, Golan and Globus invited Hollywood to a black tie party. There were over 2,000 guests.
Hi, Joe. How are you?
Thank you for coming.
It's a great evening.
We are going to do that movie. We have John Rivers already, and you, and it's going to be a blockbuster of the century.
Delighted to see you.
Delighted to see you. Okay. See you later.
Oh, sure. So we can show you this building. You can come in, make a movie, and live with the movie. Everything is there, honestly.
I believe it.
Everything
And you know
is in the building.
We want you both here in the building. Okay.
Okay?
Yes, thanks. To see we're on television.
Thank you. Enjoy the party.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
the party. Enjoy the party.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's upstairs. You go.
The party was held on the top 3 floors of their new multi-story car park, astro-turfed for the occasion.
The whole thing is that movies are entertainment, but there's 2 types of violence on the screen that the liberals don't seem to understand. You have negative violence, which provokes violence on the screen, which I think is bad. But a person who is retaliating against violence, just like you will do on the street if you're attacked, I think is good. You cannot hide your head in the sand and say there is not violence out there. The key point is how do you deal with violence? That's what's important, and that's what we try to demonstrate on the screen. Not in a negative way, but in a positive way. And in turn, it is not detrimental to our youth in America. I started at the very bottom in Oklahoma, and I've reached this level of success. Not many countries do you have that opportunity. And so, God bless America because of that.
America is a great country and gave us a fantastic opportunity. Yoram and me, when we came from Israel and from Europe, we came to Mecca, the Mecca of motion pictures. And we came to pray. And we prayed and prayed. In the beginning, nobody listened. But then we kept on praying. And finally, people began to listen.
It is true. Nobody believed them when they first started. 10 years ago, I guess, when they were a struggling little company, few had faith in them. But they are among the greatest marketing geniuses anywhere. And they have done so well that they make their profit even before the film is premiered. They're now making, I think it's something like 25 films a year, right? Right. Incredible.
For the past 2 weeks, Menachem Golan and Yoram Globus have dominated the Cannes Film Festival with 18 new films. In London, there is speculation and debate about what Cannes will bring to the British cinema.
I'm not disturbed by Golan Globus' arrival in Britain, per se, at all. They're energetic men. They have a genuine commitment to cinema. There's no question about that. I am concerned at the level of market power that's falling into their hands. I think that control, market power can be exercised benignly, and it can also be exercised aggressively. I've got no reason to assume that they're going to be one or the other. I mean, they'll obviously stand on their record. What is important is I have a great love of cinema, as they have. But I happen to think that cinema is an incredibly important social instrument, and that we live in a society which is enormously influenced by film and television, and we have a responsibility as filmmakers to that society. Now, I've said this before, and I sound like a cracked record. I have a very precise notion of the form of society I want to live in, and I've got an idea of the triggers that create violence, and the triggers that create, I think, social and decent behaviour. This isn't a kind of Merry White House speech at all. I try to make movies which take a position which is humanist, essentially humanist, and I believe is helpful to society. It's quite clear to me that the majority of their work in the past, and we are talking about the past, has been work which has appealed to the lowest common denominator in the audience.
They've already spent a fortune in England on production and in increasing the quality of the cinemas, and I know that in the few days since they acquired the company, they've been doing deals with English producers and directors willy-nilly. It has to be an extraordinarily good thing that we have acquired good management, which has been missing in our industry over the years. Film is a mass medium. It is a vastly expensive product. England has gone broke for years making films for people in Hampstead and Kensington that they could chat about over dinner. That's why we have no film industry left, because we've gone broke making films for a few aesthetes. Films have to be popular. That's why Hollywood thrives, but they can also be good. And Cannon's range today is absolutely extraordinary. Extraordinary.